Hello.
Hello.
Have you ever seen a bear? Have you ever seen thermal features? Have you ever seen miles of untamed wilderness? Hi, my name is Duncan Hiley. I would like to talk to you about some aspects of Yellowstone National Park, such as history, the wildlife, and the thermal features that are there. The history of Yellowstone National Park started when President Grant established a law in 1872 that reserved the national park and said that it needed to be preserved for the youth and the future of upcoming generations. A lot of people think that Teddy Roosevelt was the guy that did that, but he was not. But Teddy Roosevelt did push for the support of the Park Expansion Pact, which meant that he wanted all the national parks to be expanded and preserved. Teddy Roosevelt did do one thing. He placed a cornerstone here at the Roosevelt Arch, which is a gateway into the national park. Yellowstone in itself is the oldest national park in the national park system. One of the things that we did see was the Old Faithful Inn. The Old Faithful Inn is the oldest lodge pine structure in the Yellowstone National Park, the entire park. It is 7 stories high. The lodgepole pine was harvested from the surrounding areas in Yellowstone. Old Faithful, inside the Old Faithful Inn, there's a schedule that shows exactly when Old Faithful is going to go off, which is the geyser that's outside. It's no more than maybe 50 yards from the building. It is the oldest structure in the park. It's pretty crazy that a lodgepole pine structure can be that old and survive. The wildlife there. The wildlife in Yellowstone National Park, there's a range of wildlife. From bison, elk, bears, mountain goats, antelopes, squirrels, and even eagles. And one thing that I haven't included was moose. There are 14-foot moose that walk around out there. We got to see one by our cabin. He was huge. One of the fun things that you get to do at the park is that you get to watch the people in the Lamar Valley, which I can't say enough good things about the Lamar Valley. It's a beautiful place. But you get to watch these very ignorant people because they tell you that you need to stay a good 150 feet away from them because they can be aggressive to people. Well, not everybody thinks that. A lot of people like to get up close and get horned, or they get hooked by bison. One of the really strange facts about the Lamar Valley is that it's crazy how far north that this translates, but it is like the American Serengeti. It's teeming with wildlife, bison as far as you can see, wolves in the brush that are working packs around them. Mountain goats that you see up on sides of hillsides. It really is the American Serengeti. It's like something that you would see off of like National Geographic, all those shows about the Serengeti in Africa. It's just like that here in the United States. The things that are very interesting there is like the ecosystem. The bison, although they are very big and powerful, they are a lot of fuel for everything else, such as wolves, bears, whatever really can get their hands on them. But these things here that I'm going to talk about next were right next to the Lamar Valley, which are the thermal features. The thermal features are very cool because, and the only reason they're around is that Yellowstone is inside of a very large shield volcano, which gives it its thermal features, such as mud pots and artist mud pots. Mud pots are pots of boiling mud with different colors in them, and they all stink and smell like sulfur and rotten eggs because that's what's being released from underground. The things that are there is like in the geyser basin. It's hundreds, if maybe not hundreds, maybe around 50 of little small geysers. They just go off randomly. They're not timed. It's not like Old Faithful. And they just go off at random. And it's really incredible to see them go off across the park. And they erupt for around 2 to 5 minutes, so you don't really know how long that you need to stay away from it. But one of the most powerful geysers in the park is Old Faithful. And Old Faithful goes off around every 35 minutes to 120 minutes apart. That is a true spectacle that you need to see. It is gorgeous. All the things that I've learned about the park here are from these books. These books here, I've gotten a lot of my information from, such as Yellowstone and the Grand Teton Mountain Parks, and The Best of Yellowstone National Park, and also Wild Yellowstone, Land of the Geysers and Grizzlies, is where I've gotten a lot of my information. Here I would like to show you some of our photos. This is one of the major thermal features at the park. It is the Grand Prismatic Pool. This is just one of thousands of these guys that you see across the road. They are scattered everywhere. That is a male bull elk. This will be the conclusion of my speech. This is my family as we entered the Yellowstone National Park. Thank you.